There's so many different perspectives, theoretical perspectives that this conference contains. And I could see difficulties of one, for example, we have interviewed people say, well, we don't really appreciate the Browne approach because they tend to have a celebratory approach to popular culture and not a critical approach as we do. Nonetheless, we do appreciate the fact that there's a place for us to come to. There's that sense of it. At the same time, we right now, in the past 6 or 7 years, there's been the growth of the cultural studies department in the States and communications department, and recently have grown. Do you see them as potentially sort of taking away some of the thought?
No, because I don't see any exclusivity or any parochialism. There's no territory involved whatsoever, at least as I see it. And so when somebody in communication or philosophy or law or religion, things like that, say we want to join you, and somebody may punch me and say, if you let them in, they'll steal your show. That's okay. I wouldn't mind at all, I think, maybe, if they stole my car, if they moved it in the right direction. I would be hurt, because I would like always to be the leader. I'd like to be the lead car, but I realize that is that's not safe. And if one is really concerned, as I hope I am, in the subject rather than the personal advancement, then if you steal my car, it's okay.
Can you talk a little bit about some of the early difficulties of popular culture, the study of popular culture?
I'll give you 2 bits. My personal difficulty. When I started this, I had a fair reputation in American literature, folklore, and American studies. So, although they, you'll pardon the figure of speech, although they nipped at my heels, they couldn't bring me down. So they nipped a great deal. Since then, I've published altogether about 40 books. And so I have bled a great deal. I don't bleed anymore. Personally, I've been severely criticized. Professionally, about the same parallel. The persons who were with us, the leaders in the early days, were people of some stature. And although you might say it's too bad Coelty is wasting his life, you couldn't say that Coelty is a nobody. They had established their credentials, and that may in fact be the secret. If 6 or 8 persons with very weak credentials had started out, I suspect they would have been mowed down. But it's interesting that in the first 10 years of our existence, we frequently, when we would meet, say, "Shall we change the name from popular culture to folk culture, or communication culture," something like that. And for some reason, pig-headedness or otherwise, we were slow to think about it. Finally, we got serious about it and discovered that why change now? It's been legitimized. And in the last 7 or 8 years, the degree of acceptance is overwhelming. When Eric Sevareid retired from CBS, in his concluding remarks, he told the world, "The popular culture of America is safe." And I had never heard it on television before. So I thought when Eric Sevareid announces it as safe, that we had arrived, and we have. And in the last few years, the momentum is almost frightening. And you see this in politics, the Berlin Wall, in Tiananmen Square, and elsewhere. It is now as secure as daylight.
The next question is, what are some of the factors that have allowed for this increase in growth?
The most marvelous thing of all, an outbreak of democracy. And that is what we have been counting on all along. We have realized that the popular culture of a country may in fact be the guardian of a democracy. since it is constantly tested, at least in the United States, the First Amendment, freedom of speech. And as long as you have a strong and vigorous popular culture, you have a safe and secure democracy, the Constitution. And so, as we now think that since democracy has broken out around the world, and has even may have taken on a stronger vitality in the United States, then it is even more worthy of being studied and understood now. And I suspect that's a thing that really is always now haunting me a great deal, and that is, can a democracy survive its popular culture? And do I know the answer? No, I don't know.
But a democracy always is celebrating itself.
At times wallowing in it, and in the real question, can it survive it?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure that we need to know. It's a question we surely need to examine.